Subscribe to the Raiders Report. We make videos every single day. We're going to be doing live shows at least twice a week in the offseason. Interactive YouTube channels. Shout out to all the GOATs out there. Freaking Juan Hernandez, Brian Darr, Zornell Malone. More subs equals more videos. Help us get to 132,000, and it's 100% free, so you got nothing to lose. What are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report. My question is this. Should the Raiders trade Derek Carr? Obviously, I've talked about this topic numerous times. If you like conspiracy theories, you're probably going to love this video. But it is something that all Raider fans need to think about because trading Derek Carr does come with some risk. Now, obviously, I want the Raiders to move on from Carr. I believe trading Derek Carr is the right thing to do because I want more draft capital, I want to be able to save the money, and that helps you build a roster for the future. However, trading Derek Carr does come with some risks. And what I am going to illustrate here on today's show is all the risks that come along with it. Because if you don't think there's any risk by trading DC, you're not paying attention. So by the time you are done watching this video, you're going to come away probably scratching both of your heads saying, man, maybe the Raiders shouldn't trade DC. But here's my question to you, because this question is very important for this video. How mad is Derek for the way that things ended with the Raiders? They benched him. They moved on from him. They said, hey, man, it's time to go. If you're somebody who's probably putting numbers in the 8, 9, 10 range, then I'm going to tell you right now, you probably don't want the Raiders to trade Derek. If you're like, you know what, I don't think he's all that angry. I believe that it's probably closer to 1, 2, 3. Then you probably do want the Raiders to trade away Derek Carr. I need to know, though, from everyone, how mad do you think Derek Carr is at the Raiders for benching him? Now, this is the reason why we're going to talk about this. This is via Over the Cap, because understanding Derek Carr's contract is why you might not want him to trade him. If Carr is on the roster on the third day of the waiver period, so that's 3 days after the Super Bowl in 2023, his 2023 base salary at $32.9 million and $7.5 million of his 2024 base salary will be fully guaranteed. Derek Carr has already come out and said, this has been confirmed by Vic Tafur, that he will not extend the deadline. The Raiders asked DC to extend the deadline because of this whole situation that I'm going to talk about here on the video. He said, no, I'm not going to do it. Okay, so the Raiders have to make a decision. Either you trade him by February 15th, or you cut him. That way there's no penalties whatsoever. Here's the thing. If the Raiders were to trade Derek Carr, okay, and then some stuff goes bad, this could impact them. Why? Because the day to know, this is the important date, March 15th, exactly a month, okay, at 4 p.m. Eastern Time is the start of the new league year. That's when the new league year technically starts and all deals would become officially official. So even if the Raiders trade DC, it doesn't become officially official until March 15th. Does that make sense? I hope so. So here's why we're talking about potentially not trading away Derek. Raiders would have to make a trade before February 15th. So let's just say, hypothetically speaking, the Raiders make a trade. They do it before February 15th. Everyone is all happy. Well, it wouldn't become official until March 15th, and the Raiders are taking a big risk by trading away Derek Carr. And some of y'all are probably sitting at home thinking, well, if they make a trade, then why is it you're taking a risk? Remember, it's not officially official. So, by doing this, okay, Raiders trade Carr before the 15th, then Carr or the team, let's just say hypothetically speaking, decides to say, you know what? Nah, I'm good. Derek's like, I'm not going to get traded. Or the team out there goes, you know what? Nah, I'm not going to do the trade either. Then that puts Las Vegas on the hook for $40.4 million. Why? Because it's not technically the new league year. So you make the trade. Cool. You think, all right, we're going to get out of this. And let's just say right before the new league year starts, a team's like, nope, not going to do it. Derek says, nope, not going to do it. And now you're in the middle of March. Well, guess what? Then the Raiders owe Derek Carr $40.4 million. I understand. We have seen how upset the Carr family is. I have seen how petty David Carr's been. I don't know if Derek would do that, and I hope that he wouldn't. Derek, to me, has always illustrated that he has always wanted what's best for the Raiders. But breakups can be bad. Breakups can be ugly. What if Carr wanted to get revenge against the Raiders for benching him? Like I asked you guys earlier on the show, if you put in 8, 9, and 10, that tells me he's still upset. Would you want revenge? If your girlfriend, significant other, whoever, your old company, if they were to do you the way that the Raiders kind of did this to Derek and you felt some type of way about it, would you want revenge against them? It's definitely a question you got to ask yourself, because if Derek does, he can really screw over the Raiders, because then the Raiders would owe Derek $32.9 million in 2023 and $7.5 million in 2024. I mean, what do you do, right? Because if Derek does decide to do it, if you're Las Vegas, do you keep him? The answer to that's probably no. Like, I can't imagine, even if this goes down, the Raiders keep Derek. I mean, what, are you going to put him on the bench? You already had him leave at the end of the season, so that tells me that no, you're just going to probably eat that money, and then you're going to cut him. So Derek would make that money, $40.4 million, and then he can go sign elsewhere. If you want to talk about making the most money possible, this is probably the way Derek could do it. Say, yeah, let's do a trade. Middle of March, say, I'm good. He gets $40.4 million. The Raiders cut him, and then he can sign probably on a cheaper deal because he already got his money on a team that then he can go win for. Like, it's an interesting idea to wrap your mind around. There's no doubt about it. So what do you think here? Do you think that Carr would try to screw over the Raiders? Do you think that Derek's that type of person? Give me a Y for yes, or do you give me an N for no? Do you think that Derek would try to screw over the silver and black? Y for yes, N for no. I'm going to give you my answer, but before I do, I got to tell you about today's sponsor, LinkedIn. And this is a spot where you can post your job for free at linkedin.com/NFL Daily. I love LinkedIn. If it wasn't for them, and I say this all the time, I wouldn't be here at Chat Sports. Jeremy wouldn't be here at Chat Sports. We've been able to build this company because of an awesome place like LinkedIn. So I'm going to tell you guys about them. As a small business owner or hiring manager, you know that success in 2023 all depends on the team members you surround yourself with. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. With LinkedIn Jobs, you can hire qualified candidates more effectively by matching open roles with people who have the skills, values, and experiences to help you achieve your goals. LinkedIn Jobs helps you quickly attract qualified candidates to your open jobs with targeting tools. They go beyond resume data by using insights from your job post, company, and their 875 million member profiles to put your post in front of the most qualified candidates. It's why small business rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the qualified candidates you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/NFL Daily. That's linkedin.com/NFL Daily to post your jobs for free. Terms and conditions apply. I mean, we got to be able to face the facts, right? Sometimes people are hired. It's not a good fit. When you're in a small company like this, you got turnover. It's no good, right? Turnovers are bad in football. It's also bad in the company. Shout out to LinkedIn. Go post your job for free. LinkedIn.com/NFL Daily. In terms of, is Derek Carr the type of guy to screw over the Raiders? I don't think he is. People can hate on DC all he wants. I have come up on the show numerous times, and I have not been afraid to rip DC. My job here is when the Raiders play well, I'll talk about it. When the Raiders play bad, I'll talk about it. When DC played well, I believe I gave him his flowers. When DC didn't play well, my job is to rip on him. But I'm going to tell you all this right now. I respect Derek Carr as a man. I don't think many people out there think that he's a bad guy. For that, I don't believe that he's the type of person that would screw over the Raiders. This is what Derek had to say in his first public speaking, and he spoke at church on January 15th. It's easy to point the finger at other people. It's easy to blame others. Trust me, I got a lot of family members trying to do that for me. But I say, you know what? I'm not going to do that. That's comfortable for me. That really could be a comfortable place, but I'm going to step out of that. I'm going to say I just can't wait to be better myself. I'm just going to keep striving to be the best version of me that I can be. I'm going to keep trying to be better at whatever I do next. It's uncomfortable. It's so easy to do it the other way. It's so easy to point the finger. So with that being said, I think Derek kind of laid it out there that he's not that type of person. I can't believe down in the depths of me that Derek would really try to do that, not only to the Raiders, but anybody in general. He's not that type of dude. However, though, could an NFL team do it? I mean, I get it. All the owners are buddies. We've also seen, though, the NFL don't really like the Raiders all that much, right? So coming up here on the show, there is one team in the NFL I would not trade with. Telling y'all right now, because of the way Derek Carr's contract is structured, There is one team I would not trade with. And guess what? They're in this video. Derek Carr Destinations. I made this video. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's the top 6 teams that I believe are the most likely to have Derek Carr on them. Another reason to hit that subscribe button. Another reason to check out this show. We are pumping out more content than just about anybody out there, and it's 100% free. So, if you want to check out the video, it's going to be in the comments. It's going to be in the description of today's show. So, which team am I worried about making a trade with Derek Carr? Which team do you think it is? Take a guess. I'm going to put an ad break here, so for everyone watching on YouTube, you're going to get hit with a YouTube ad break, and I want you to take a guess. Which team am I worried about trading Derek Carr to? The team is the Indianapolis Colts. I'm not making a deal with them. And the biggest reason, remember back in 2018 when McDaniels bailed on Indy? He burned a bridge there. What if the Colts wanted revenge? I mean, there's nothing stopping them. I get it. If the Colts did this to a team, there'd be a lot of NFL teams out there that might be a little bit wary about trading with Indy, no doubt about it. But you know what? I think there's also a part of me that would be, I think some NFL owners would understand. They'd be like, what McDaniels did to you back in 2018 was shameful. So if you're just getting revenge, I think some people would look at it as, well, now you're even. And I don't really believe that they would blame the Colts for that. I know Indy has looked at quarterbacks for a very, very long time. And I want to move on from Derek. But the risk to me is too high to make a trade with the Colts. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to hop in my time machine. And I'm going to go and I'm going to show you guys some statements from the Colts, from the NFL, just to paint a picture of how bad the whole thing that McDaniels did. And it was one of the reasons why I don't want the Raiders to hire him, because he burned a lot of bridges. And when you burn bridges in the NFL, it's never a good thing. So this is what the Colts said in 2018. After agreeing to contract terms to become the Indianapolis Colts' new head coach, New England Patriots assistant coach Josh McDaniels this evening informed us that he would not be joining our team. Although we are surprised and disappointed, we will resume our head coaching search immediately and find the right fit to lead our team and organization on and off the field. So basically what I'm talking about here with this video with Derek is already what McDaniels did to the Colts is what could happen to the Raiders, where you agree in principle, but it doesn't become officially official until the new league year happens. It happened already, and Josh McDaniels on the other side of it. What makes you think that it couldn't happen to the Raiders? And if it did happen to the Raiders, again, you're on the hook for $40.4 million for Derek Carr. That handicaps you for 2023, and it kind of hurts you a little bit for 2024. That's what the NFL Network back in 2018 had to say about the whole situation. The surprising development comes after the Colts announced Tuesday morning that they had reached an agreement for McDaniels to become their new head coach. Although McDaniels hadn't signed his Colts contract, the team had scheduled his introductory news conference for Wednesday at Lucas Oil Stadium. Compounding the issue is that multiple assistant coaches have signed Colts contracts thinking they'd be working with McDaniels. Former Cowboys linebackers coach Matt Eberflus was pegged as McDaniels' defensive coordinator, is among those under contract already. Mike Garafolo, who's blocked me on Twitter, reported on NFL Total Access that all indications are Eberflus and possibly other coaches will remain with the Colts under whoever they hire. Colts general manager Chris Ballard now faces the inevitable task of trying to find a coach with the prime pool of coaching candidates no longer available. Getting a new coach into Indy before the start of the NFL scouting combine likely will be a priority for Ballard in the weeks ahead. I mean, when you talk about the fact that you hired somebody, like they did with McDaniels, and then he leaves, had other coaches leave their jobs, and then they sign their paperwork to be the next head coach, and then, or to be candidates or coordinators, and then you decide to leave. You screwed over a lot of people. You put the Colts in a bad situation, and right now the Colts are desperate. They finished the season at 4-12-1 this past season, and they need a quarterback. I mean, if I was Indy, there's a part of me be like, yeah, let's agree to a trade. Let's do a trade right now, and then middle of March you say, we're good. You end up paying Derek Carr. Derek Carr hits the free agent market, and if you were Indianapolis, you could talk to DC and be like, hey, man, we're going to do this, and then I'm still going to pay you some extra money, but you're going to come on a cheaper deal. That way we can build around you, come to a weaker division, and we're going to really screw over the Raiders together. I mean, it's a crazy thing, no doubt about it, but it's possible. I also heard Chris Ballard say that he's prepared to do whatever it takes to move up for a quarterback that he likes. This is when he was talking about the NFL draft. Indianapolis is at number 4 in the draft, okay? So If somebody's willing to say, though, that they're going to do whatever it takes, that tells me that they're desperate, that I believe anything is possible. What happens if there's starting to be some inside sources, right? And they're like, hey, you're not going to get the quarterback that you want. What if the guy that they like is Bryce Young? And they're like, that's not going to happen. The next best thing, and Indy's had a different starting quarterback 5 straight years, all veterans. They make a trade for Derek Carr. They pull out on the trade. Raiders have to end up trading for DC. And then once free agency rolls around, Derek just signs with the Colts because that's what the whole thing that they talked about in the beginning. I don't think Derek would do it, but I wouldn't put it past Indianapolis for the simple fact of it's revenge. So my question to you is this. What do? Do you just downright cut Derek because that guarantees you that you do not pay for him? If you cut Derek Carr, it's a guarantee you save $120.5 million. You're not going to pay him in 2023. You're not going to pay him in 2024. Or do you risk it? Do you trade him? Do you risk paying Carr, but you're going to get more draft capital? When you got your job on the line, and I'm telling y'all right now, if the Raiders do not win in 2023, McDaniels and Ziegler, I believe, are gone. Are you willing to risk your job with this? It's interesting, right? Yeah, LinkedIn. That's the place where if you do risk your job and you got to post a job for free, man. LinkedIn.com/NFL Daily. No, seriously, though, would you risk your job? It's a question. What should the Raiders do with Derek Carr? I'm going to ask you again, because I know if I would have started the show with this question, I believe everybody would type T for trade. But after hearing all of that, what do you do now? Do you play it safe? Do you just cut him and you save the money? Or do you make the trade and you still roll the dice? Here's going to be my opinion on this. I know I just outlined every single thing humanly possible, which probably makes some people right now a little bit worried about trading him. I live my life on the fast lane. I'm also not on the hook, right? I'm still going to try to trade Derek Carr. You're in Las Vegas, baby, right? When Mark moved the Raiders out of Oakland, that already showed you that he's going to try to do whatever it takes to go all in. You moved away from Oakland. That's a big commitment. You should go all in. Your move to Vegas told me and told Raider Nation that you're going to do whatever it takes to win a Super Bowl. You're not going to win a Super Bowl tiptoeing, trying to hit singles. How are you going to do it? You're going to do it by hitting a home run. If you didn't fire McDaniels, that told me you're all in. You got to go all in. By going all in, it's making the trade. Is it going to be scary? Yes. No doubt about it. But you still have to try to do what's best for the team in the long run, and I still believe that's trading away Derek Carr, and hopefully you don't get screwed. And I'm hoping that the Raiders don't get screwed. If they do, that's going to be a whole different discussion, and I'm going to be one angry dude. In terms of Carr trade destinations, my top 5 teams are right here. And I still think New Orleans is the top team. I do think the Jets are absolutely in the running there as well. In fact, these would be the top 2 teams I'm going to be betting on. The Commanders are up there. The Panthers are always interested. And the Tennessee Titans. These are my top 5 Derek Carr trade destinations. However, though, I do think that the Carr free agency destinations are different than the trade destinations because there's going to be certain teams that are willing to make a deal. There's also teams, if I'm the Raiders, I ain't making a deal with, right? I just talked about Indianapolis. But if DC hits free agency, the Colts, they jump up the list, man. I could see them, if they don't really believe that they're going to get the quarterback that they like, you could see them try to get Derek Carr in free agency. Then you got the Jets, the Commanders, Tampa Bay. Hell, if you're Derek, there's even a scenario where maybe you wait until after the draft. You could wait until after the draft to see which teams need a quarterback, because then that could be even more money for you. There's going to be teams that are interested in Derek. Do you wait until after the draft and then make a move? It's definitely interesting. So my final thought on this conspiracy theory, I hope Carr's traded. But until that bad boy is officially official, I'm going to be worried. So I'm going to go live when the Raiders do or do not trade Derek. I'm going to go live probably when he's officially cut. And then I'll probably go live again once the trade is officially official, because this is definitely a topic that the nation needs to at least think about, do your homework on, and then make your assessment. We all want more draft capital, but you got to know there does come some risk when you try to trade away Derek Carr this offseason.